What's going on, guys? In this video, we're diving into how to start a clothing brand with less than $50. And the beauty about this is that the majority of the budget is actually gonna go into the making of your product. Because throughout this video, we're gonna be showing tools and resources that are free to low cost to start. And the best part about this is that they're run with artificial intelligence. That's right, we're diving into AI tools that are gonna help you launch and grow your business. Now, regardless of whether you're just getting started or you're already experienced and are selling something online, there are 3 things I've heard over the years that continue to hold true to this day, and I want to share it with you right now. The first is that you need to be extremely clear about what it is that you want to accomplish. And then you need to identify what you're missing that will help get you there. You need to be able to bridge that gap between where you're at and where you want to go. And it's okay that you don't have all this figured out yet, because throughout this video, we're going to be giving you guys a step-by-step guide to help you work through this. But ultimately, it's up to you to identify what skill sets, relationships, or things that you need to personally develop that will help get you closer to your goals. Which is why it's also important that you get into the habit of tracking your progress and reflecting regularly. Now, by reflecting, it'll allow you to see how far you've come, where you've made mistakes, and the things that you need to improve on. Because with clarity, the rest of the pieces will start clicking together like the puzzle, including the most common question we get on this channel, and that's, what should your brand name be? Now, I want to start off by saying creating a brand is more than just slapping a logo and a name onto a t-shirt and calling it quits. And in previous videos, I've talked about how your brand name should be connected to you as a creator to be authentic, and this still holds true. But I do have people coming up and saying, hey, just use your own name for the brand. And they aren't wrong either, because if Polo Ralph Lauren did it, then so can you. But I challenge you to just be a little more creative than that, guys, because even the man Ralph Lauren reinvented his entire image. And you guess what the name on his birth certificate was? Ralph Lipschitz, which is not a very marketable name to put on a clothing line. So if you're struggling with coming up with a name, this is the first AI tool that I recommend you use, and that's ChatGPT. With ChatGPT, you'll be able to enter in your target market, your niche audience, and then start asking questions about what names they would prefer for that market. This tool will help you start narrowing your ideas and get you some concepts, but ultimately it's gonna be up to you to figure out what the end goal is. But before you go into the next step of the process, which is trademarking the one name that you like and is catchy, you should also know that the best name for a brand is the one that fits within that market. In our example with Polo Ralph Lauren, this was a name that was easy to understand, and you immediately knew who this was for. Now, you may not know this, but at the time of the brand inception, the polo sport and lifestyle was gaining popularity again. Icons such as Walt Disney had been associated with the sport in the 30s, and it was defined by elegance and luxury. Now, Ralph Lauren capitalized on this movement and created a legacy with this brand that to this day brings us back to simpler times. I share this to say that you should attempt to position your brand name today for success, but don't box yourself too much and give it room to grow and evolve over time. Now, ChatGPT is gonna be a great assistant, but it won't be able to make the final decision. That'll be completely up to you. And once you finally decide on a name, the next step is in trademarking it. You want to legally verify if you can own that mark. And a trademark is essentially a mark that's issued by a country that you live in that gives you the rights to use that name for your brand. To look up the name on your own to see if it's available, all you gotta do is head on over to the USPTO.gov. Head there to see if there's any active marks. Now, through the USPTO, you can actually attempt to register it yourself, and the USPTO YouTube channel, which I'm gonna link in the description down below, has a lot of details to help you do that. But I wanna disclaim that if you are planning to invest real money into this business, I do recommend that you use a trademark attorney. Now, the reason for this is that by reaching out to an attorney, they can literally do a quick check and give you a green light or give you a cautious answer. Meaning if they say, hey, you might run into problems, chances are you may run into problems with the filing, so you should proceed with caution. Now, some of the most common issues that happen with the trademark process is that somebody may already own the name for a different product category. Say, for example, you want to register it for t-shirts and garments, but you find that somebody might own it in underwear or in another product category. It could be argued that they're planning to expand into that product category, so you'll run into some legal battles there to own it. Another common issue that you may run across is people saying that, hey, that name sounds familiar to my name. And if that comes up, you have to defend the application, and you have to go out of your way to do that. Having a lawyer on your application actually prevents a lot of these issues, because they know that if they're gonna dispute anything, they actually have to go through a legal process. And if you'd like us to do a future video on trademarks, leave a comment down there that says trademark please. Maybe I'll bring a good trademark attorney to talk a little bit more about how this affects clothing brands. Because as a disclaimer, anything I share legally here is not legal advice. So if you do want legal advice, we're gonna link some resources in the description right down below, which is located right below that subscribe button. So if you enjoyed it so far, hit that subscribe and then open up those descriptions to find all the resources that we're gonna share in this video. And now that you have a name that you're happy with, it's time to legitimize a business. Now, in a recent video, we actually did a detailed dive into the differences between all the legal structures we're gonna discuss and just do a little quick recap on. We'll link the video in the cards right up above, because in this video, I just wanna help you visualize how sole proprietorship, partnership, LLC, and corporations work, and the type of businesses that use these structures to help you decide what route you should start exploring. Again, you should consult with the CPA on your personal finances to make the final route. Now, the cheapest route is usually the sole proprietor route. And in Nevada, it costs you $20 to register as a business. Now, this model is very similar to signing up to a DoorDash or Uber Eats as a delivery driver. You're essentially just registering with your state that, hey, I am gonna start conducting business. And the money that you generate can flow directly into your personal bank account. Now, if you have no assets or things to be concerned of, this is a great way to start in order to prove things out. And for the sake of this tutorial, because in most states you can get started with $20, we're gonna put a $20 budget in order to start your business. Now, the next legal structure is partnerships. And partnerships are essentially like a sole proprietor, except now there's 2 or more people involved. Now, everything is still registered under your personal information, and the liability is now split amongst the owners personally. Now, businesses that usually do this type of structure are mom and pop shops, where a lot of times family members will come in and front some money or maybe put a loan towards the business in order to help out. Which leads us into the next legal structure, and that's LLCs. Now, LLCs are completely different entities that are not attached to your personal credit or your assets. So if you're planning on investing money into this business over the next 3 to 5 years, then this is potentially a route that you should look into. Businesses that typically operate as an LLC include clothing brands, you got manufacturing businesses, real estate, and really any business where you may be giving equity to people to help you actually start it or grow it. And the reason why LLCs are so popular is because they're super simple and straightforward to manage. It's almost like running a partnership, but it gives you some of the benefits of a corporation. Because corporations are formed in order to raise money a little bit easier due to how the legal structure is set up. In a corporation, the owners can own shares, they don't own actual equity. And there's actually different classes of shares, and each of those shares have rules about how much voting rights you have or how much say you have in the business. Now, for this reason, most corporations are usually tech companies and international businesses or businesses that are looking to go public or get bought out. But what's important to note is that you do also need to get a registered agent in the business. This is somebody that's going to be actually receiving a lot of the letters and corporate paperwork. Now, you can sometimes do this through a registered mail forwarding address. A lot of these mail forwarding addresses have this as a service. So you should look into getting a mail forwarding address so you're not putting your personal address out for the world to see, because anything that you submit through your state is public information. So a mail forwarding address, a registered agent, you'll be able to start registering your business regardless of what entity type you're looking into. And with your business structure set, next up is in getting your EIN number, which you can actually do through the IRS.gov. Just make sure you guys actually go to the real government website and just fill out that survey. And with that, you can now get your wholesale license and doing business as certificate, which leads us into selling online. Now, in order to sell online, you have 2 options. Either you're gonna sell on a marketplace or you're gonna sell direct to your customer. Now, if you're selling a niche product or custom designs for a niche market, then you should consider selling on platforms such as Etsy that have a lot of niche audiences, as well as TikTok Shop that have a whole different audience base. Marketplaces are great as they have a pre-built audience that's looking to buy something unique. But if you're actually starting up your own brand and you want to manage your entire sales channel and you want to grow this to be the next multi-million-dollar business, then you need to launch your own e-commerce store. Now, to launch this, you will need a domain name and a place to host your website. Now, the best place to host your website is hands down going to be Shopify, guys. They have all the apps, they have all the resources, they have all the logistical backend to actually help you grow. And some of the biggest brands and businesses are using them today. Now, you can get started for free or even for $1 for a 30-day trial. We're going to link a special offer in the description down below. I appreciate every single one of you guys who use that link as it helps us make more videos like this. Now, in order to get a domain, you have two options as well. You can either buy it directly from Shopify, or you could buy it from a domain host. A domain hosting provider will essentially allow you to store your domain name there, and you can point it to Shopify. And the benefits of using a domain host provider is that you could buy multiple domain names. So let's say you're thinking about starting this brand, maybe you're gonna have another website, an app, a community, whatever it is. Having a domain host comes in clutch because you can store all your domains there. Now, to get started, a really good domain hosting platform is actually Namecheap. Namecheap is incredible because it actually has domain names for $2. You can literally start buying .coms for just $2 each. Now, you can get started through the links that we have down below. Now, when it comes to pointing the link, it's really easy when it comes to using a platform like Namecheap. All you gotta do is go into the DNS settings and actually just select Shopify as the platform that you want the domain to point to. This means that whenever somebody types in your www.yourbrandname, it's actually gonna be pulling up the Shopify website. And through Shopify, all you gotta do is go into the settings tab and then just hit link a domain name. And with those two things completed, you now literally have a domain that's connected to Shopify and you're good to start selling online. Now, when it comes to selling online, you have two goals. The first is to drive traffic, and the second is to convert that traffic into paying customers. Now, the challenge that most brand owners actually face is in getting sales online, but ultimately it boils down into those two things. So if you're just getting started, you have to identify and start game planning how you'll be getting the right traffic to your site in order to give it a chance to convert. Now, we'll cover a little bit more about what this means later on in this video, but you have to keep this in mind. Because once you start getting traffic, and if you're not seeing conversions, it becomes more of a little science game that you have to figure out. You have to quickly find out if you have the right product. Is your site designed correctly to make purchasing easy? Or maybe your offering isn't being communicated well enough for people to understand the value of what you're selling. Now, this is where AI and e-commerce come together beautifully, because there's now tools being created to help you improve conversions. And what this means is that it's saving you tons of hours in trying to figure out, do you have the right product listing? Do you have the right product offering? It actually gives you a lot of data and helps you advance and make a better e-commerce store. Today, with an app such as Me Choose AI, you have a virtual assistant that will actually guide your customer just like a good retail store assistant does. It asks only the right questions in order to build a detailed profile of each customer's needs and preferences. And the beauty about this program is that it connects directly to your Shopify store and it starts to make personalized recommendations for each customer. What this essentially means, guys, is that you have a personal assistant selling and helping guide the purchasing decision. Now, the beauty about this is that you can install this in just one click. You can actually start helping improve your conversions of your traffic immediately. Now, if everything I just mentioned went right over your head, I want to show you what this all means right now. Now, when it comes to shopping online, you have to understand that most customers are confused by your product offering, and oftentimes these questions can't be answered on the FAQ or even the product listing, so customers usually leave. Now, this is where a tool such as Me Choose AI comes into play. Now, the example website that we're looking at right now actually has this tool installed on their site. And now, if I click on this quiz, it actually helps me interact with a brand, and the brand is asking me questions to help me filter what I may need. Because as you can see on their site, they got hundreds, if not thousands of different products, and this can be an overwhelming amount of choices. The AI quiz created questions to help me as a customer narrow down the style and fit according to my body type, and it also shows me some options. Now, what's really cool is that it also shared a discount code here that I can use at checkout. Now, this is the power of using a tool such as Me Choose AI, as it helps you build a relationship with the customer and also lowers the barrier to purchase. To accomplish something like this before, your e-commerce business needed custom coding and a huge budget. But with this being run by AI now, it's super easy for anyone to access. Now, Me Choose AI comes with a 30-day free trial that we're gonna link in the description right down below. And after you connect it to your Shopify store, you can either do a one-click install, which quickly creates a quiz, or you can configure it to your liking to better assist the AI to take over. Now, this app works great for brands that have a large selection of products to choose from, or brands that have products with very unique features that may need some explanation or personal selling to help that customer make that final decision to purchase. What's really cool about this service is that you can also help lead some of the responses to point customers to products that have higher margin and much more. Now, the best part about all of this is that it's free to install, so you can start testing it out immediately to see if it's gonna work for your business. We included links in the description down below for you to start. Now, another major tool that you need to consider adding to your e-commerce mix is email and SMS captures. Now, this may sound super old school, but Trust me, these are hugely underrated tools that provide some of the best returns on your investment. Because if you think about it, everyone and their mamas has an email address. I know my mom does. And if you can capture them with a one-time discount, they're now show intent on purchasing either right now or in the near future. So your goal as an entrepreneur is to create a nice welcome and onboarding series that tells the story of your brand, what you stand for, and the transformation that they're gonna experience by purchasing your products. Now, to do this correctly, I highly encourage that you check out some of the brands that inspired you to get started. Sign up to their email list, see the examples of how they welcome you into their community, get inspired. Don't copy, get inspired and recreate something that resonates with you and that could resonate with your audience. But I do have to say, guys, email will only work if you stay consistent in sending. Now, to start working on email campaigns, you can start using Shopify's included email service. Honestly, this is really easy and super inexpensive to use. But once you are ready to scale, I do recommend that you choose a platform that gives you more control and ability to segment your customers and also add automations. Now, some of the top email platforms include Klaviyo and MailChimp. Klaviyo really is designed for e-commerce. MailChimp was almost a catch-all, but it is coming up with some tools that I find pretty impressive. And if you'd like us to do a deep dive into email campaign and marketing, I want you to comment, send it to the internet down below. Now, remember what I said about 1% better every day? It's about compounding all your efforts. And as you start to do this, guys, what ultimately is gonna happen is you're gonna get more traffic to your store. And as you get more traffic and you start to get some sales, the goal is to optimize every aspect of the experience to help convert that traffic into more sales. So if a customer doesn't buy the first time they land, can you get them to buy in the email that you have as a follow-up that you wrote? One of the most overlooked sections of an e-commerce store is really the product listing, which is what the customer will ultimately read before they check out. And the key to writing effectively for this part is to think about what your ideal customer needs and write that in a way that appeals to them directly. You have good imagery for the product, but you don't sell it through with the description, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. But in order to write good copy, it takes a lot of time, especially as you start to grow your catalog, which is where ConvertMate comes into play. Now, this is another AI tool that comes into play to assist you in saving time and maximizing your results. What ConvertMate actually does is that it optimizes and changes the copy, the words on your website, and tailors it to the potential customer. It'll change title, it'll swap out images, and it'll write incredible product description. Now, this tool really powers e-commerce brands of any size, and I want to show you guys really quickly how it works. It's available as a Shopify app, and after downloading, you'll actually be greeted with the welcome screen where it's going to ask you what is your brand's tone of voice, as well as to describe your target market. Now, it's going to take this information to write custom copy, so it's important that you think about this. It will then give you a snapshot of how it would rewrite a product that you currently have listed. I was personally super impressed with the way that it approached this, because for the product listing that it chose, we actually didn't have a description, so it literally wrote something from scratch. And once you activate the account, it's gonna ask you what you need help with. Now, you can ask it to take over the entire process from the SEO to the links, or you can be more selective with how much you wanna give it access to. Now, once you hit start, it's actually gonna take a little bit, guys. This is crazy to think that it's actually upgrading every single listing on your store. So if you have one product, you got 500 products, or you have thousands of products, it's actually doing it one by one and upgrading every single listing. Now, this is crazy to think that there's something like this running in the background of your store at any given time of any given week, because it doesn't just do it for the one time. It continues to do this to improve your conversions. Now, once it's completed, it's actually gonna give you a product score for every listing. It's gonna rank your product through something called a health score, and it gives you an add to cart percentage that you can see at a snapshot. At a glance, you can also see the work that the software is doing, and it also gives you suggestions on the improvements that you can make for each listing. Now, ConvertMate is honestly a game-changing tool for brand owners out there that are thinking about drop shipping a library of products. So say, for instance, you start a brand around a signature line that you personally design and maybe you make, but then you want to outsource some products from suppliers in a similar niche that you may not need to make yourself, but you can drop ship. You can have ConvertMate take over all of your product listings, which will save you hundreds of hours a month, depending on how many products that you're planning to offer on your store. The beauty about this is that it doesn't just run the one time that you install it. It also runs in the background to help improve the sales of your products, because it also runs split tests, which help you decide the winning image and the copy in order to improve your conversions. This is literally changing things out to help you improve your sales. Now, this is one way that AI is truly changing the game for e-commerce entrepreneurs, guys. And brands such as Don't Panic Shoes is using ConvertMate. It helped them grow their online sales without having to do any extra work. This e-commerce business uploads hundreds of products every month, and the AI actually created every listing and has helped them improve their sales. Now, you can get started for free, and they also have plans starting for as low as $15 a month, which include up to 500 product listings. This is perfect for anyone getting started or looking to grow. Now, we linked their special offer in the description down below so you can start converting from all angles. Because remember guys, in order to sell online, you need traffic, and then you need to convert that traffic. And every piece that you optimize by just 1% will be that compounding effect that'll literally increase your chances of growing your revenue tenfold. This is the crazy part about e-commerce, guys, is that once you start driving traffic, it really becomes a numbers game and an optimization game. Now, I want to take a moment to congratulate you for getting to this part of the video, because we just laid the foundation for establishing and setting up your e-commerce store for success. Now, I know that this was a lot of details thrown at you guys, but you can always reference back, and you can also skip ahead to a section that you may want to visit right now before you exit this video. But just keep in mind that I structured this content in a way where each part of it plays into each other. So it's best to watch it from start to finish in order to connect everything. So get ready to continue taking some notes. And let's start off with designing your products. There's a lot of options available, and one of which is Procreate. And Procreate is a powerful tool with all kinds of features, but the main drawback is that you actually need a tablet in order to run it. And we all know tablets right now will set you back about a rack in price, right? Which is why Adobe has historically been a really good tool for brand owners. But to be honest, right now their subscription fees at almost $60 per month, and it continues to be raised every single year, is starting to come at that threshold where it's not really worth it. Especially because if you're not using it in heavy design every single day, the value really isn't there, which is the reason why tools such as Canva are starting to come up in the market, and I see a lot of brand owners using it. Now, I personally really appreciate Canva's easiness of use to create social media templates, a lot of different graphics that you just quickly want to mock up. But one of the things that's the main drawback there is the production-ready art. Because when it comes to designing for apparel, the one thing that you need to know is that you need very specific type of art in order to get the best quality results. And what you're really looking for in a design program is something that allows you to export high-resolution graphics with transparent backgrounds. But that's not all. You also are looking for something that allows you to do some vector-based art, because a variety of your print methods are actually going to require this type of art, which is where Kittl comes into play. And what's really cool about Kittl is that you can actually get started with $0, so there's no budget added to this. Now, Kittl is essentially a design program that you can access from any device. But the main difference between Kittl and any of the competitors in the market is the ability to have high quality graphic templates, which are actually designed for print-on-demand businesses and apparel brands. This means that any art that you create using Kittl's templates, you actually have a license to use in print production, which means that you can use their entire library and you can customize those designs and then quickly start building out your collection. And Kittl also has a built-in AI design feature that gets you some incredible results. And for a limited time, they're actually giving everyone that's watching this video a 30-day free trial of the Pro plan, which actually allows you to use the AI designer to customize your art. I've linked the special offer in the descriptions right down below for you to get started. Again, this is free, and we're actually gonna put a $0 price tag for you to get started with art, because you have up to 30 days to prove your concepts. But remember guys, you have to use AI wisely. You should consider it as an assistant to help you create designs, but you should master it with your own unique perspective. Now, if this is the first time you create a collection, I want to show you the making of a product line and how to create line sheets in order to help you visualize what you're working towards. For this example, we're going to go with a font-based collection here. And the beauty is that Kittl actually allows you to import your own fonts. All you got to do is click Import Fonts. And after you adjust the size and placement of it, we're gonna be knocking out the color in this design, and we're actually just gonna create a border around it. And then we're gonna add the tagline for Street Crafter, make more than money. With this simple design now completed, we're actually gonna create a new project in order to create the line sheet we talked about. We'll start by searching mockups. As you can see, it gives you a lot of different options. You're gonna wanna select the garments that you wanna design on, and we will then change their color. You can do that easily through just clicking a couple buttons. Next, we're gonna import our designs. All we did is copied and pasted from the other project board, and we're actually gonna change it to white since we're working with black products. Now we're actually just gonna play around with a couple of the placement here. That's the beauty about creating a line sheet, is that you can verify your design direction and get feedback from your customers and make any changes that you need before you actually go to production with this. But if you want to take it one step further, you can also create quality mockups using this feature that's located at the top here. You can actually select a model wearing a garment, you could change the color of the garment, and then you can even export that image so you can use it on your website or social media. Or you can also choose the flat lay photography that you can use for the product listing on your e-commerce store. And when it comes to starting a brand, having your ideas front and center is the goal, guys. So make sure you maximize the use of design programs to not only create designs, but to create your line sheets and actually use mockups to help you visualize the direction. This is so important. A lot of times you don't necessarily know if something's gonna sell until you put it on paper and you see it in the world. Because chances are, once you actually put it out there, you hang it up in your room, you might wanna make some adjustments to it. And by having it on your phone or having it up on your wall, you also get an opportunity to get real-time feedback from people that are in your family or your friends or your coworkers. Getting input from others is a great way to improve your designs and increase the chances of your brand success. And once you do get confirmation that your designs are heading in the right direction, the next step is to start working with a supplier to make those designs. Now, when it comes to making products, you really have two choices. The first is to purchase in bulk, but you risk going broke if this is the very first time that you're starting a brand. By placing bulk orders with a print shop, it does allow you to cut the cost down and also increase your profit margins as well as your customization options. But if you haven't built a solid community yet, or you don't have a guarantee that you're gonna sell through, you risk losing all the money that you invest in your very first run. And we see this time and time again throughout this community. So I advise you that unless you have a solid sales channel that guarantees at least 90% of the products are gonna sell through, you should take an on-demand approach. Because the on-demand approach allows you to plug into a print shop operation, and you can actually leverage all of their printers and software as it connects directly to your Shopify store. Now, anytime that an order is placed on your website, it gets routed to that print shop's facility, and then it gets printed and shipped directly to the end customer. And the best part about this model is that the customer has no idea that this came from a print shop, as these print-on-demand companies allow you to customize the shipping labels, the clothing labels, and a lot of other features that make it feel truly custom to your brand. And the beauty about this is that they're doing it one at a time, and you don't have to pay for anything until something is sold. And when it comes to partnering with a print-on-demand platform, there's two major things that you want to look for. The first is in the speed of production. Now, you want to work with a print facility that actually gets your orders out really quickly, because the faster you can get to the customer, the less complaints you're going to receive and the better reviews that your brand is going to get. And the second is the apparel options that are available. How many different options do they have to truly customize your brand? Now, when it comes to print-on-demand companies, I've linked a variety of them in the description right down below, but I wanted to share one that I recently came across that I feel is doing something very special in the market, and they're called Print Melon. Now, the strength that Print Melon has is that they have a variety of products for you to choose from. With over 500 units and different SKUs available, you're able to print on a variety of different fabrics as well as accessories. Now, a really cool feature they have is that the Print Melon app connects directly to your Shopify store, but instead of it sending you to an external platform where you're gonna customize and manage your listings, you're actually able to do everything right inside of your Shopify dashboard. We'll start by selecting the products that we want to design on. Now, I'm going to order the same design across 3 different fabric blends and styles of t-shirts. Because you got to know something about DTG is that it actually varies based on the fabric that you select. So I want to run a test and show you what this means in a moment. Next thing we'll do is we want to upload the designs on the garments that we selected. This is where creating a line sheet comes in hand, as you don't have to guess how your collection will look. You simply just copy the design right onto the print platform. And once you're happy with your selections, you can hit save here or publish to your store. But Print Melon also has an added feature where you can add neck labels as well as sleeve prints. So what we're gonna do is add our neck label design before we place our sample order. And you can also request to have the product bagged to give it an extra layer of protection and shipping. Now for this order, I'm gonna order the same design across 3 different shirts. One of the shirts is gonna be polyester, the other one is cotton, and the third is a tri-blend. Because one of the things that they claim is that they can print directly onto cotton, polyester shirts, and tri-blends. Now, this is something that most print-on-demand companies stay away from, and the reason for this is that print-on-demand companies have a printing method called DTG, or direct-to-garment printing. Think of DTG printers like a big home printer that you have, but instead of it printing on paper and spitting that image out, it's actually printing right on top of the t-shirt. Now, DTG printing works best on 100% cotton shirts, and the reason for this is that cotton easily absorbs the ink. Now, when it comes to polyester though, or any blends, polyester is actually made out of plastic. which you can imagine for an ink to stick to, it's gonna be a little difficult. But since they claim that they're able to do this with really good quality, I actually placed an order for these 3 types of shirts, and the package just came in earlier this week, and I wanna see for myself in real time how these came out. So I'm gonna grab that right now and show you guys. Came in. All right, moment of truth. I placed the 3 different t-shirts, 3 different fabric blends, which is a challenge for any print-on-demand company. It's the very first time I actually see them in real life. Okay, this one's interesting. The quality of the shirt is really makes a big difference. So I mentioned it in the video. I talked about the importance of a blank, but what you guys are gonna see right now is what that translates to. Now in this first t-shirt, what we have is this is a lower priced tee. So this is a little bit cheaper blank. The cotton isn't but look at that little detail, tiny detail here. Print Melon did an incredible job with actually getting a really good quality print. But if you come over to this other shirt, what you're gonna see is essentially that print, that graphic really pops in color. And the reason for that is the type of cotton that's being used on this shirt versus this shirt. This is the Bella Canvas one. So as you can see, the colors are more vibrant. This one is the Comfort Colors. It's a good t-shirt. It's a lower price, but same print method, different t-shirt, different quality of print. This tri-blend also has a really good texture. The blends of the fabric are also gonna change the graphic of the actual design a little bit. This is a tri-blend, which is 50% polyester, cotton, and rayon. So if you have 100% cotton, then you move it to 100% polyester, it's gonna have a little bit of a difference. I was really surprised with how the polyester, 100% polyester sport shirt came out, because this here absolutely knocked it out of the park. Incredible detail. I'm honestly surprised with this polyester shirt. Print Melon definitely exceeded my expectations, because I was like, you know what? Let's send the production in, let's see what they can do. And they honestly killed this one. So I highly encourage that you guys check them out, especially when it comes to apparel offering, because there's a lot of different print-on-demand companies out there that essentially offer you all kinds of different products, but you need to have a core offering of t-shirts. T-shirts and hoodies are something that are needed everywhere. So if you can work with a supplier like Print Melon to just have your core products, they have really good price point, they have really good turnaround, and their print method here, absolutely solid. I will link the Print Melon app in the description right down below, and I encourage that you guys give their platform a try, as I was actually super impressed with the speed of the time that the product got here and their ability to actually print on multiple fabrics. And with the samples on hand, it's now time to photograph to start your promotion. And this is honestly where AI, artificial intelligence, has changed the game again. Because in a previous video on the channel, we mentioned the importance of having friends, people to actually help you create your product photography and your lifestyle shoots.
If you don't have any, make some. If you can't make any, I guess find some.
But I'm here to tell you guys that you no longer need friends. Because a member of our community recently put us onto an AI app called OnModel that is replacing your friends with professional looking models. Now, OnModel works directly on Shopify, and you can connect it to your Shopify store. And it works in 2 ways. The first way is that it allows you to actually take that product sample that you have, put it on the ground, just lay it out, and then take a photo on your phone. Then you can upload it onto the site, and you can replace that blank photo, that blank t-shirt on the ground, with a real model wearing it. But the second way, which I believe is really gonna change the way that product photography and lifestyle photography is done, is called Model Swap. Now, the way Model Swap works is that it actually is gonna replace whoever's in front of the camera wearing your clothes. In this example, it's me. I put on the t-shirt and I'm actually setting up with some poses here. Now, the cool part is you could take your photos on a backdrop, or you can actually create a lifestyle shoot and just take photos anywhere, as the AI program actually replaces your face and your features with a whole new model. This means that you don't need to get ready with hair or makeup. All you need is the outfits and your brand ready to photograph. Now, personally, guys, I thought this was crazy because it definitely empowers everyone to have professional quality photo shoots using just a phone. Now, everything that we talked about is gonna be linked in the description down below. I just thought you should know about this really cool app. Now, when it comes to marketing, this is really where clarity in your business and what your brand is about comes full circle. You see, your marketing activities should resonate with your target audience. From the products that you design, where you place them, how you promote them, at the price at which the items sell, should all connect to the person that is the ideal customer of your brand. Now, a perfect illustration for marketing, for really good marketing to help sell products is Polo Ralph Lauren. Now, we talked about him earlier in the video, but his initial strategy to enter the market was not in launching an entire fashion collection. In fact, it really just started with a simple tie. That tie came in various colors, it switched out different fabrics, but it essentially had the same manufacturing process. And it was also something that couldn't be purchased anywhere else. At the time that he launched, the ties were actually dull in color. All the competitors had just standard colors. So his offering stood out in the market, and it was something that was fashionable and caught somebody's attention. But by selling those ties, he got his brand name out. He was able to position himself in the market. That allowed him to be picked up by retailers across the country. And once he had those distribution channels and he had that audience and that customer that already was aware of his brand, he started to expand into different categories, from women's wear to athletics to even perfume and cologne. You name it, Polo Ralph Lauren has done it. He had the right product selling at the right places with the right promotion at the price his target audience was willing to pay. And as entrepreneurs, it's important that you keep this marketing mix in mind. You need to know, what are you selling, who are you selling to, and how do you reach the person that's supposed to buy it at the price that they're willing to pay. Because once you map that out and you have a really good understanding about that, you start to see opportunities in your market. Your promotional calendar that we talked about working on is gonna be flooded with ideas. Influencers that you should collaborate will start popping up on your feed because you know what to look for. And the opportunities to attend the right events, to meet your customers or even retail customers are gonna start pouring in. Oftentimes, entrepreneurs on this channel are looking for the magic pill when it comes to marketing. But it all starts with identifying who is your customer and then creating a place for them to gather and connect. Hopefully that place is your brand social channel, your website, your Discord group, and your chats that you have. Now, the goal with marketing is to get in front of your customers every single day. The more you can connect to your audience, the higher the chance they're gonna be dropping money on your brand and spreading your message to let others hear about it. And to increase the free word-of-mouth promotions you can get, I highly recommend you start looking into affiliate marketing programs to encourage your audience to share your site and your products. Now, affiliate marketing works by rewarding the customer every time they share a link to your site. With a platform such as UpPromote, it connects directly to your Shopify store. All you gotta do is send them the link to sign up, and once they're there, they can actually start choosing products that they wanna promote and talk about. And anytime somebody clicks on the link that they include in that story or on that website, you're actually able to reward them with a commission of sales, with a percentage of that sale. Now, all the resources that we mentioned in this video are gonna be linked in the description right down below, as well as all the chapter marks, so you guys could always reference back to a different topic that you may not have connected with you this time that can help you in the future. Now, if you enjoyed this video, we appreciate you hitting that subscribe button and turning on that post notification bell to be alerted if future video drops. And before we leave, I just want to reconnect exactly what we started with here, and that is in finding clarity in what it is that you want to do. Because as you're getting started on this journey into entrepreneurship, you need to have clarity in what you want to accomplish. And then you need to identify exactly where you're at right now. The gap between where you want to be and where you are right now is the gap that you need to work on. So what skill sets do you need to develop? Which people do you need to connect with? What resources do you need to have? You need to identify these things, because if you don't identify and start working on that, this goal will only be a dream. But as soon as you start to connect the pieces, every single step that you take gets you closer to your goals. And I congratulate you for taking this first step and starting to educate yourself on the process. Throughout our channel, we have all kinds of information, guys. You guys can literally browse this library and start connecting the rest of the pieces. And if you are interested in starting up a clothing brand and you're interested in taking this journey seriously, I encourage that you actually check out the free membership group we're gonna link right here. In this membership group, we're gonna be doing live streamings, Q&As, as well as free modules and access to education that isn't shared on YouTube. And you can access it all from a phone, which is really cool. Now, I wanna leave this off in saying that entrepreneurship is definitely a spiritual journey. So for me, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for God calling me to turn on the camera, share this message, and continue spreading this word. I think entrepreneurship has the opportunity to change millions of people around the world. And if you feel the same way, I appreciate you if you could share this video with somebody that needs to hear it, somebody that needs to see it, to help them on their journey. And I appreciate every single one of you guys who watched and stuck to the end. And if you're interested in starting a luxury clothing brand, we actually linked a video right here where we show you how you can make it from home. And remember, make sure you download the app and start accessing our community right here.